have the excuse of what? I didn't know how to contact me. The best way to contact me, if you're in a hurry and need to contact me, is by my cell phone. Either by text or by phone call. If you don't want to use my cell phone, then the best way to contact me is by my office email. The worst way to contact me is by my office phone, because I'm hardly ever in there. The reason I'm hardly ever in there is I spend a lot of time in the classroom, and you will catch me in office hours, but that's about it. Best way to contact me is by my phone. I like to tell students a little bit about myself, because has anybody had me before in any classes? Usually in 155 you haven't. But you can go to Rate My Professor if you want to find out anything about me, or you can ask around. But I try to keep my classroom comfortable. That doesn't mean with cushions. That means with loudmouths. I don't tolerate loudmouths. Loudmouths are people that think they know everything, that blurt out information, and usually 9 times out of 10 is what? Wrong. That's the difference between somebody that knows what they're talking about. Usually the loudmouths are males. I hate to say it, guys, but that's usually what they are. I've very rarely had to throw out a female for trying to run the class. But usually I don't have any problem with that. 20 years I've been teaching at Tri-County, and I've only had to throw out 3 people. 2 of them were males, 1 of them was female, and 1 of them was about 2 semesters ago. And that was a female. The other one was a long, long time ago. So I've never had to deal with too many problems. That's why I'm a firm believer, if you think you know the material, stay home. Because I don't want you in here. Because the people that want to ask the questions are going to be intimidated by the loudmouths. And I don't want that. So I'll figure you out eventually, and hopefully I'll get you out of here if you're one of those people. But I do give out things that... I used to do this with everybody. I used to hand out index cards and get students to fill out index cards with what you know, what you do, and what you did, and what high school you went to. And we used to take up the index cards, and I used to distribute them out after we took them up, mix them up, and distribute them out. And then we try to guess who did this and who did this. But I don't do that anymore because people screwed it up, so I quit doing that. But I still do this because they used to ask me, well, if you're going to ask us about us, and what about you? So that's why I used to do this, and just let you know, because I don't know if you've ever had a teacher that taught for an hour and a half the first day and you had no idea what their name was. Okay, that's what I don't want in my class. I want the opposite. I want you to know a lot about me. I want you to know my name. I want you to know how to contact me. I want you to know where my office is, all that good stuff. I'm the opposite of that teacher that I referred to. It says locator card. Locator card I sent to you the other day. Should be your 4th email, I think. I think it says 4th email, 3rd email. Where's the 4th? There it is. And there's my locator card. And for those of you who don't have it, you can just write down when I'm here. Basically, I'm here on Tuesday. Tuesday and Thursday is my light day. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I'm here back to back for 3 hours, so I don't take a lunch hour, so I leave early. Plain and simple. But I'm here till about 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock on Tuesday and Thursday. Best days for office hours is on Friday. But that's it's outside my door, and I've sent it to you all. Unless you added since yesterday, if you added this class since yesterday afternoon when I sent this email, you didn't get this email. But I sent this out. This is your 4th out of 5 emails. one of the most important handouts that I send out, well, not the most important, but one of my important ones is not here. It's on your third email. And it is the handout that basically talks about class courtesies. I have a cell phone. For me to sit here and tell you not to use a cell phone and I have a cell phone is pretty hypocritical. So I do not ask you not to use a cell phone. The only thing I ask you to do is try to keep it on silent. I try to keep mine on silent. Sometimes it goes off. I don't have a heart attack when yours goes off, so you don't need to have a heart attack when mine goes off. I have a daughter, I have a son, and I have a mother. If those three call me, then I have to go out in the hallway because something's wrong if they call me and they know I'm teaching. Just like you, some of you have kids, some of you have mothers, fathers, brothers, sisters, husbands, wives, whatever the case may be. If you get a phone call and your significant other or your mother, daughter, whatever, knows that you're in class, and if they're calling you, what does that mean?
Something's wrong.
Something's wrong. So you need to pick your phone up, go out in the hallway and answer it, or text in the hallway. Because texting while I'm teaching is the same thing as you coming up here, asking me a question, and me texting while you're asking me a question. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. What you do to me, I do to you. If you do it to me, I'm going to do it to you. So don't do it. Okay? You will see me use my, if I give y'all a problem, and y'all are working on a problem, and I get a text, I'll answer it. But I'm not doing it while I'm teaching. And you don't do it while, while I'm teaching. I don't do it while you're talking to me. Okay? So that's how that goes. So that takes care of number 1, 2, and 3. My number 1 rule is that I treat students the way that I want to be treated. I don't think you'll ever see anything on Rate My Professor negative about me as far as respecting a student. Now, the 3 students that I threw out of class were disrespectful, so I threw them out of class. And I will literally throw you out of class if I have to. Okay? Might get a lawsuit, might get wrote up or whatever, but I'm not going to put up with it. I'll call security and have you physically thrown out of class. I'm not going to put up with pissing contests with little boys. I'm not going to do it. So, you treat me with respect, I'm going to treat you with respect. And that means cell phones and texting. This is not an online class. I use a lot of online material. I use a lot of online testing and a lot of online homework. There are ways that you can do it by pencil and paper. I'll show you how to do that, but you're still going to have to type in the answers online. Most of you have been through 101 and 102, so most of you have used Course Compass / MyLab Plus. It's the same thing. Both of those words mean the same thing. The reason I like to use online testing and online homework is that saves more time for the classroom for me to what? Teach. 4-unit tests. I have to give you the class time for the test, and I have to give you a class time to give it back and go over it. That's 2 class periods per test. That's 8 class periods that I could be teaching. Same thing with homework. Homework works out about 3 days. If you take time, 15 minutes to check homework per class, 4 classes equal 1 class, it comes out to be about 3 class periods to check homework. So that's 11 days that I could be teaching. And for some of you, that 11 days means the difference between you getting it in the classroom and having to come for office hours. I don't hardly have any office hours because the way that I have my class is I teach my office hours in the classroom because y'all send me the questions and I do them in class. And I have that time because I don't have to do all that other stuff in class. So it works out real well. The math department has decided that, if it ain't broke, fix it. So, or if it is broke, fix it. Whatever the opposite is to the old saying. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Mine's not broke, but they decided to fix it. They decided to instigate a minimum of 2 online tests per class. So that means I've got to give you 2 in-class tests. I don't like that. So I'm going to figure out a way around it. Okay? And you may have to come in and answer 5 questions and then go take your online test. But I'll figure out something. Because it's easier for you to take it at home. It's easier for you to take it when you want to take it. And not have to come in here, because every time I have an online, in-class test, somebody has 5 dead grandmothers and 6 flat tires and 2 engines go out on their car. And I just get tired of it. So I don't do it. Okay? So if you're one of those people with 5 dead grandmothers, I need you to, do the online testing, because I don't want to listen to all that. Attendance policy. The federal government has decided that they're going to crack down on the 1% of 1% of 1% of 1% students that get off with money and not come to class. Our federal government is really cracking down, but our southern border is wide open. But anyway, they're going to crack down on these 1% of 1% of 1%, the minute students, probably 1 out of 2,500, that are getting by with not coming to class and getting financial aid. So, all of Tri-County Tech has to follow a attendance policy because of that big, humongous population of students, 1 out of 2,500. So, we have to do that. So that means you've got to cross that threshold for me to count you here. And that's the way I do it. If you cross that threshold, you're here. If you go back outside and go to McDonald's, you're still here. You came in, you crossed the threshold. You get it? Okay. Cross the threshold, let me know you're here. After that, you get it. That's for the ones that know everything. Y'all can go back home. Okay? Because I don't want you in here. All right. That's class courtesies. You can read the rest of them, but I cover the highlights. Let's go ahead. Here are things you will be graded on. This is the important page. There's 2 important pages. This is the first one. Make sure you keep this page in your notebook, because we're going to go over it the last week of class. Here are things you'll be graded on for your course. Refer to your syllabus. We're going to refer to the syllabus right after this page. Some classes have 4 units. I think this one has 4 units. Most of our math classes are going to 4 units, because 4 into 14 is 3.5. You're going to need to get your calendars out too, because we're going to talk about that. Every 3.5 weeks, we should be taking a test. Do I follow that? No. Okay? Because my students may come in and ask 15 questions. If they ask 15 questions on section 1.1, then that delays what? 1.2. But I may go through 1.2 and nobody send any questions. Then we go to 1.3. The schedule of 3.5 weeks is for the teacher that's going to go by the syllabus, and to hell or high water, if you have questions, they're going to go to the next section. Is that the teacher you have? No. If you want that teacher, you need to drop me and pick somebody else. I teach the speed of the class. Okay? Now that does not mean we're going to spend 3 weeks on chapter 1. Okay? That means that we're going to spend enough time to where if I cover a lot of sections, if I cover, let's say we're on 1.1 per week, and I've done at least 15 out of 20 homework questions on the board. If I've done 15 out of 20 of your homework questions on the board, I think it's time for us to move on to the next section. You see what I'm saying? I'm going to use a little bit of common sense there. I'm not going to spend 3 weeks and do 50 questions and you only got 25 questions. So I'm going to use a little bit of, but most of the time my students think that I go with the class. And the question, they ask my instructor button on the homework, if you use that, then the class will go as fast as you want it to. If you don't use it, we're going to go very fast. Okay? Homework is done online when I start the material. I haven't started the material. When I start doing math, that's when you need to start worrying about doing math. Homework deadlines will be posted when we get toward the end of the what? Unit. For example means this is made up. Because I've had students call me after I've gone over this and their syllabus says Unit 1 is Chapter 1 and they see that Chapter 8.1 through 8.8 and they call me and they say, I thought we were supposed to do Chapter 1. So that's why I had to put this is made up there. If we are on Unit 1 and it covers 8.1 through 8.8, when we get to 8.7 in the class, that's when you need to worry about a test and a deadline for the homework. I have to put that in words because I have these Hammy students. Hammy the squirrel, on Over the Hedge. Hammy the squirrel, he jumps around and he don't know what's going on. He's like on 6 cups of coffee. You ever seen a student like that? When's homework? When's homework? When's test? When's test? When's test? Comes up here like the first day of class. When's homework due? When's homework due? I will ignore you. Okay? I'm not going to put up with that. The dates are on the Course Compass / MyLabs Plus. You don't need to come up here and ask me what the dates are. When do you need to worry about dates? When we finish 8.7 and 8.8. Then you'll start hearing me saying, okay, we're going to have a test coming up. Then I'll go over a test the next time we meet. And then I'll say, okay, I'm going to put up the test. That means the homework cuts off tomorrow or whatever. I'm going to announce all this in class. Well, what if you miss class? Well, you have the videos. That's what that video camera is for. I cover all your what? Excuses. I cover all of them. If you ever meet anybody that failed my class, get away from them. Because one of 3 things is going to happen. Either their bad luck is going to rub off on you, or their laziness, or their stupid is going to run off on you. And people say, oh God, I can't believe you called somebody stupid. Get over it, okay? If you can't pass my class, that means you had bad luck, like grandmother died 5 times, or you're lazy. Lazy is not wanting to what? Work. I'm not politically correct, okay? When you're not wanting to work, you're lazy. And the last one is the deadhead that does drugs and sits in the back of the room with that's the deadhead, okay? All right, you're one of those 3 people. Most of you should be cognitive. Most of you should be alert. And you know that if you miss a class, you go on YouTube, I'll show you how to do it, and you pull up the class video and you watch it. That's how you keep up with the class. Okay? You can print out the homework. I'll show you how to do this. If you don't see a start date or an end date, you what? You don't worry about it. Who are the only people that worries about dates? Anybody want to take a guess? The people that wait until the last minute. That's who really worries about the dates. Oh, well, I planned. No, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the ones that they need to know what date is due so they can wait till the last minute to do it. I don't put up with those, so you don't need to worry about it. Don't call me or text me and say, when's the homework due? Because you're not going to get a reply because I've already answered it right there. When we see it, when we get toward the end of the unit. And I'm going to say that, I've said that 3 times, and somebody's going to ask me, when's homework due before Unit 1's over? And I'm not going to answer. I'm going to say, I have no idea. If you ask me that in class, I'm going to say, I have no earthly idea. And if you text me, I'm not going to reply. I'll only text you with a legitimate question. With a legitimate answer. Online test. I do give my test online. I will give you 2 to 3 chances. Most of the time I give you 3 chances. I put 2 on there just to keep me out of trouble. But most of the time I give you 3. Now what does it say there? Course Compass or MyLabs Plus, it's the same thing. We'll take what? Does it say anything about average? Is there anything on there that says average? No. But y'all will come up with an average. I don't know where y'all come up with it. Y'all meaning students, all my classes. They come up with, are we going to take the average or are you going to take the higher of the two? You get a reply? No, because it's right there. I will give you 7 to 10 days to take the test for the 6 flat tires and 5 dead grandmothers. That's why you have 7 to 10 days. Okay? If you don't see a due date, who's the only one in this classroom that needs to worry about dates? Me. You take the test on your time, not class time. Multiple choice, no answer. You can review and print out after you have taken it. And that's pretty much all you need to know about that. The only other, here's a test question. What are the weights of Hubert's grades? 60, 20, 20. 60% is your unit test. 20% is your homework. 20% is your final exam. You need to recognize when it's on the bottom for those that don't have it. Hold on. I'm learning this new projection system. If y'all are familiar with these classrooms, y'all know these are new. So, there it is down at the bottom. 60, 20, 20. That is a test question. It'll say, what is Hubert's weight distributions on his test, or his grades? And there's only one possible answer. One is 60, 20, 20. The other is 30, 30, 30. The other is water and duck. Now, why is that the only possible answer? Because 30, 30, 30 doesn't equal what? Okay? I still have people missing. And that is the first most important page right there. Keep it in your notebook. The second most important page is the 155 syllabi. I don't care about all the bureaucratic Columbia stuff on the first page. This is all I care about right here. That's the page that you need to have in your notebook. That's the second most important page right here. Go ahead and mark out 1.3 and 1.2. We're not going to go through that. We're going to start with 5.1 when we do start. So you need to click off 1.2 and 1.3. Okay, let's talk about that. Because I'm going to have somebody text me and say, do I need to do the homework for 1.2 and 1.3? Think about that. If I tell you to mark off 1.2 and 1.3 in your syllabus, do you think you have to do the homework? No, you do not. If I cover it, you are responsible for it. If I don't cover it, or if I tell you to take it off, then you are not responsible for it. Period. And some of y'all are saying, well, he's a smart ass. No, I'm not. I'm going to tell you, some of y'all are dumb as a box of rocks. I'm not talking about y'all in here. I'm talking, when I say y'all, I mean who? All students. I mean, they will ask me some of the stupidest questions. Just like, what's grade book for? I get that question at the end of the semester. How do I know what my grade is? There's a button on your course compass, and what's it called? What a concept. I'm sorry, I just get irritated with some of these. And if you were a teacher, you would get irritated too. And that's one of the questions I get. I want y'all to mark off 1.2 and 1.3 off your syllabus. Do we have to do the homework? I don't know.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. Okay. Unit 1 is going to be 5.1 through 11.1. Okay, make that mark. I'm going to go ahead and tell y'all this. This section I cover, but I cover it, I cover it very, I kind of put y'all on autopilot right here. I cover it, but I just jump into it and jump out of it, jump into it, jump out of it. The 3 sections that I'm going to cover, I can tell you this section is going to be the one that weighs you down more. This is the one that weighs you down. So this is the one we're going to spend most of the time in. This one is pretty quick, and this one is pretty quick. This one takes more time. This one you can do pretty much, some of you can do this on your own. I don't spend a lot of time on this one because I don't really want to insult your intelligence on some of it. Okay? So I kind of put you on autopilot and let y'all send in questions what y'all need on that Unit 3. Okay? I'm still trying to get used to this system. So this page you need to put in your notebook, in the front of your notebook or somewhere in the outside cover of your notebook, and then on the back side cover or the back, you need to put that other page that I said, because those two pages we're going to cover again the last week of class to answer questions that you're going to ask that last week. They get on my nerves too. Okay? Students don't get on my nerves. Their thinking gets on my nerves. Or their lack of thinking. Alright, so that's a very important handout. The third most important handout is this one. The academic what? Why do I want y'all to print this out and put it in your calendar? Because I barely have time to keep up with my 8-year-old son and myself. Alright? If I barely have time to keep up with my 8-year-old son and myself, where does that leave you as far as keeping up with your calendar? You got to keep up with your calendar. I can't. Alright? I don't know when we're here, when we're not. I rely on y'all to tell me when we have class. The next time we don't have class is when? Labor Day? Which is September what? Is that something that you need to put in your calendar right now? Yes. Therefore, you won't have to ask your teachers when that Friday or that Wednesday comes up and you go, do we have class Monday? I'm not going to answer it because, one, I don't know. Two, you should know. So put it in your calendar that we don't have to be here when?
Labor Day, Monday.
September 7th. What other day do you think is important on your academic calendar? Huh? I heard, Moo. That's what I heard. Y'all need to enunciate. What other day do you think is important?
Last day to drop the class.
Last day to drop the class. So you need the last day to drop, section A. I see last day to drop. Last day to withdraw from classes is when? Mark that down. October 19th. That's for section A. That means 14-week class. The normal classes. What other days do you think? Look at here. They got, didn't they have, I thought I saw, ooh, look at there. What's that? Is that important? No. Let's show up with an empty class and an empty parking lot and ask the security guard downstairs, we don't have classes today. Do you think I make it up? I have students show up, not me. Students show up, security guards say they walk up through the empty parking lot, and they come through the empty office, and they say, do we have classes today? I couldn't be the security guard because I would just... What else is in November?
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving. So there should be a Thanksgiving break or something like that. So let's look down and see.
It's the 26th. It's a Thursday.
Last day of classes.
Oh my!
24th.
Last day of class. You're going to have an extra long
Oh,
Thanksgiving. You got 3-4 day Thanksgiving because the last day is on Tuesday. That's a very important day to write down. And this is a very important day to write down. December 1st through December 7th. What is that? Final exams. December 6th is my birthday. It's on Sunday. Bring me a present on Monday. That's a joke. Bring me a present. When you get fired. All right? Grades due. Is that important for y'all?
Yes.
Because that way on the 8th you won't text me and say, is my grade posted? No, they will be posted after December what? That's why I give out the academic calendar, so y'all can write down those dates. Somebody in here didn't write down the dates, and they're going to be the first one to what? Ask. These are 2 test questions. Last day of class and when it's final exams. That is 2 test questions on every single one of your tests. By the end of the semester, you will have answered that question 4 times on each test. I meant on all the tests. So,
You said last day of class and which one?
last day of class and final exam week. And that is a handout. I do have a couple other handouts, but I'll let you read those. I think it's one about my ideologies. I'll let you read those. I've already pulled up the syllabi. We went over the syllabi. Who's got questions on any of the handouts right now? Let me go ahead and write down 3 important numbers for you. I told you that my cell number is and the best email address would be hmcclure@tctc.edu. That's the best email to get me, if not my other emails. Well, that went a little way, so I don't know what that is. But that's not a dot. Don't look at that. I can't get rid of it. So I don't know what it is. Tried to erase it twice. I can erase everything else. I just can't erase that. I'll leave. What a surprise. All right. That is for contact me. Contact the help desk at Tri-County Tech. That is 646-1779. Anything having to do with TCTC or Blackboard. I do not use Blackboard. Okay, so if you go look for assignments on Blackboard from Hubert, you're not going to find it.
So all yours are going to be, your assignments are going to be
In my labs class.
Okay. Okay.
I don't